Shouldn't be anything new, right? Cylinders, cones, spheres, we've talked about all of them, just kind of difference between them. Make sure you have the formulas down. We all should. This should be nothing new for you. 4 students each calculated the volume of a sphere has a radius of 9. Okay, a little concerning when we look at a warm-up and we get a bunch of different answers, right? There should be one. There should be one answer to the sphere that has a radius of 9. Okay, well, first thing, can you write the formula? Can you tell me the formula without looking, just out of curiosity, of a sphere?
Equals 4/3 pi r cubed.
Perfect. Okay, if we know that, it's going to make life easier. So where do you think the 9 goes? And for the one letter that's on the right side here, right? So we should be able to get that. 9 times 9 times 9 is 729. And I need to take that times 4/3. Maybe it comes out nice. Let's check. Times 4, divide by 3. No decimal needed, no fraction needed. Times 4 divided by 3 turns out to be 972 pi. So who's correct? Maya? Mahi, however you want to pronounce that. Okay, notice Tyler was close. Tyler forgot the pi. Okay, Tyler forgot the pi. Again, one answer for all of these types of questions. Okay, question 2. Now it gives me the volume. Wants to know what the radius would be. Okay, so how do you solve an equation like this? You don't. You leave it blank, give the shoulders a big old shrug, and you move along.
Yep, don't you do.
Okay, first thing I would do, we got pi on both sides. Go ahead and cross those out. Those cancel out each side. Obviously, I want to get the r cubed by itself. So what is the opposite of multiplying by 4/3? Dividing by 4/3. Or multiplying by the reciprocal. Either one is fine. And here's why. That cancels out. So 288 times 3 over 4. Again, hopefully it comes out nice. I don't know if it will.
Fingers crossed.
It's nice when you don't have to deal with a fraction, but it's not always possible. So 288 times 3 divided by 4 is 216. So now what number cubed is 216? You could try a number. You could try 3. 3 times 3 times 3, that's 27. It's bigger than that. What number cubed is 216?
8, 6, 14.
14 times 14 times 14 is going to be
6.
way more. 6 times 6 times 6. Your answer is 6 units. Could try your 14 times 14 3 times. I'm guessing that's way over 216.
Just take out some.
Question number 3. Okay, we're going to look at this one. I have it in the other book here, and we're going to answer that. Let's do this one first, then we'll come back. Gavin, would you read it, please?
It says
Number 4.
Cylinder, the diameter 3 centimeters, height of 8 centimeters is filled with water. This side which figures describe the area of any could hold all the water from the cylinder.
Okay. Can it hold the water? If I dump this water into this cone or this cylinder, will it fit? Okay, so it's a yes or no question. So first I better figure out how much this thing can hold. Okay, so go back to your formula for volume of a cylinder and tell me what the volume of that thing is. In that formula you should have down, volume of a cylinder, tell me the volume of that guy. What'd you get? 18? What you got?
No, the equation.
Well, yeah, I wanted you to use the equation. So 1.5 squared is 2.25 times the height of 8. Comes out perfectly to be 18. So the volume of this thing is 18 pi. So if we get less than 18 pi on one of these, the water won't fit and it's going to run over. If we get more than 18 pi, the water will fit. Okay, so why don't you figure out the cone? Height of 8, radius of 3. Hey, that should look familiar. Same thing we just did up here, except it's a cone. Okay, I would like you to do those 4 then. I'll give you, I don't know, a minute of problem. Figure out the volume of those shapes. We should be able to handle that. And will the water from that cylinder fit into it? All right, so this is a really good question how the last solid week has gone for you, if you know how to do these. These questions on the quiz and test, or the test coming up should be rather easy. If you struggle with these, I'm guessing we need a little more practice, or we haven't been putting the time on our homework to practice because the equations haven't changed. Cone, you already figured that one out right here. It's the same shape up here, you just gotta take it divided by 3. So is that one gonna hold the water? No, that one ain't gonna hold it. Cylinder, again, tells me the diameter, so you should be able to get the radius and the height. And again, it's just plugging it into the equation. As long as you can take 3 times 3 times 2. Should be able to handle that one. Is this going to fit the water?
No.
It's the same, I would think that would hold it, right? Exact same size. So that one will hold the water. Rectangular prism. Super simple, 3 times 4 times 8. Let's multiply it. Oh, there is no pi there though. So it's just 3 times 4 times 8. So 96. 18 pi, well 18 times 3.14 is about 56. So something that can hold 96, I think, should not be an issue. 56 fits into there rather easily. And how about the last one, the sphere? Formula we covered yesterday. Again, just plugging it in. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. 8 times 4 is 32 over 3. 10 and 2/3. Is the water going to fit in there? Nope, needs to be 18 pi. 10 is less than 18. So it will only fit in 2 and 3. Questions on any of those or equations? Everybody have the equations written down? For an open book test, we should certainly not have a trouble of what's the equation, Mr. Milbrandt? I don't remember it. Okay, make sure they are down. All right, go back to 3. Gotta find the card here. There is one question I want to do. Here's a question. Can just kind of write it on the bottom of the page there. A cone and sphere have the same dimensions. What is the volume, right? Then it wants you to ask questions. Okay, well, obviously you need some information. To me, that's silly to, what kind of information do I need? So here's what I'm going to tell you. Okay, so the volume of the cone is 144 pi. So write that down. And the radius of the cone is the same radius as a sphere. So 144 pi is the key. And it tells us a bunch of cube numbers here. We can figure those out. Those aren't necessary. All right, so we're going to work through that one. We'll just do it on the bottom here. So the cone and sphere have same dimensions. It tells me the volume of the cone is 144 pi, and it wants to know the radius. And it wants to know the volume of the sphere. Radiuses are the same. So I'm gonna have to figure out the radius of that cone. That's the key. Because then I can just plug it into the sphere formula. Cone formula, 1/3 area of the base times the height, and it needs to equal 144.
The radius will be 2. But squared it will be 4.
So we need to get to 144. Okay, so this is similar to the one we did right here. Okay, we need to solve it. So same dimensions, I'm assuming that means the heights are the same, the radius is the same, so again the pi's cancel, so those are going to get out of there. Radiuses are the same. So what squared times a certain height would give me 1/3? So a lot of different options here. We're going to assume the radius and the height are going to be the same thing. So something cubed divided by 3 is going to be 144. Okay, what is the opposite of times 1/3? It'd be dividing by 1/3 or multiply by 3. So something cubed, what's 144 times 3? It's 432. So give me an approximate radius. A number that multiplied by itself 3 times will give me 432. Again, if you have no idea, you try one, right? I'm gonna try 5. 5 times 5 times 5, 125. It's gotta be more than that. So then let's try 7. 343, it's gonna be more than that. Let's try 8. 8 is 512. Okay, so 7.5 probably. It's gonna get us pretty close. What was it?
421.87.
Yeah, we'll go with that then. We'll just say the radius is about 7.5. Okay, so if that's the case, then let's figure out the volume of the sphere. So again, we need the volume formula for the sphere. Radius is 7.5 cubed times pi. Obviously a decimal will be just fine here. So I'd like you to type this one in. 7.5 times 7.5 times 7.5 times 4, divide by 3. We'll just use 3.14 for pi. So just get your calculator out, try that Desmos or the calculator itself. I would like everybody to try it before we say an answer. 7.5 times 7.5 times 7.5 times 4, divide by 3 times pi. See what you get. Lucas, I want you to try it. Claire, you got an answer? Is it on your calculator still? You start with a 1.
Mine is it in the thousands?
Yours doesn't start with a 1?
176.
Mine starts with a 1.
1766.25.
Yeah, that's what I got. I just want to make sure you can get that 1766.25 units cubed. Again, some of those questions, it's like, well, we need to get more information. Obviously, the more it gives you, the better. But yeah, just being able to type that in is super important. If you didn't get that, please try it again. If you don't the second time, let me know. I want to make sure you can get those. All right, your assignment then. Only 4 questions. Page 178 through 179. And then we are not going to do lesson 22. We've already talked about those plenty. So tomorrow we'll do the homework questions, review, get ready for the test on Thursday.